Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online Series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we featured the team that ended up winning the Players Cup 3 online qualifiers, and there's a lot of cool stuff on this team, so once again, please go check out the creator, linked in the description below, as well as a rental and a team report written in Japanese. I think the main, star of this team is definitely the offensive Porygon 2 max attack, max special attack, EV spread, and with 4 offensive attacks, which is super interesting. But of course, we have the substitute on the Naoigo, and then the substitute on the Dracovish as well. I don't think I ended up bringing the Dracovish or using sub in any of the games yesterday, so it'd be cool to get it out today, but either way, this is a really cool team, and I'm not surprised to see it win a best of 1 online Wi-Fi tournament. So eager to just play a couple of more games with it today, and once again, thank you to the creator for the team. Question of the day, I want to know if you think there should be any new types in the next game or next generation that we end up getting. Let me know in the comment section below. And thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like, and let's get started. Oh boy, Xurkitree. Okay, so last time I faced Xurkitree on Road to Ranked, I actually didn't know that Tail Glow was removed from the game, so I was expecting it to Tail Glow the entire time, but that's obviously not going to be the case here. So, good to remember that. I also see Inteleon. Normally when I see Inteleon, my first association with it is just Soak, either Focus Sash or Choice Scarf. Soak could be interesting. I mean, I guess it combos with Xurkitree here specifically, but otherwise not too much. So, let's see. I think offensive Porygon 2 looks really good here, actually, because my opponent's team is relatively frail for the most part. So I like the idea of that. I think Naoigo feels really good here. I mean, Zapdos actually isn't bad, I guess. The only problem is going to be the Glastrier. So I could play towards Zapdos as well. But I think Porygon's pretty strong here. So I'm down to lead Grimmsnarl or Porygon just because Grimmsnarl can go for the trick shenanigans. I think Urshifu in the back is always super good with this combination. And I think I'll go with Naoigo here. The Meteor Beam is just so powerful, right? And I think that it can just one-shot a bunch of my opponent's Pokemon that are not Dynamax, especially like that Glastrier. I think one of the reasons why Meteor Beam on Naoigo is such a cool tech is, or just, I mean, set nowadays, is because Glastrier is so common. And I think the substitute is just such a smart idea as well. And we've run it previously, right, on Hirofumi's team. But sub is such a cool move. It was really common in VGC back in the day, especially in like 2012, 2013, like Gen 5. And it has definitely gotten a little bit less popular. But it makes a lot of sense on a Pokemon like an Naoigo because, and on Dracovish, right? Those are two of the Pokemon like that often bait your opponent into trying to protect in front of it. So it's going to be Sableye and Cinderace. Okay, I mean, I'm down to definitely Dynamax and Max Strike turn 1 onto Cinderace. Question is what I want to do with Grimmsnarl. I wouldn't be surprised if my opponent just clicks Fake Out into that slot with the Sableye and goes for another attack with the Cinderace onto it as well. But I suppose in the off chance my opponent lets me get the Fake Tears off, we can just one-shot Cinderace here. Cinderace is honestly probably the main threat. So let's see. They're not going to Dynamax Cinderace. Okay, that's really interesting. And I guess that makes some sense. Like, you could just go for High Jump Kick immediately. That would actually be pretty scary. So, yeah, I thought this was a decent option for Cinderace to max, but I think my opponent might just want to cover for the fact that I'm, I could Trick Room in this position and try to stop the Trick Room. Okay, but they go for Taunt. Yeah, that's fine. Unfortunately, though, because Cinderace... Oh, actually, no, I was going to say, because I didn't Trick and go for Fake Tears, I was going to say, I thought I was going to give it my full Incense here. They're just going to go for Iron Head. Okay, that just changed them to Steel type, though, which I guess is a little unfortunate. See if that one-shots us. Nice. Grimmsnarl hangs on, which is really clutch. No Life Orb. So I don't think it's Life Orb or Expert Belt. So I don't... AV would make a lot of sense here, but... Porygon still picks up the one-hit KO. That's awesome. I think this is a great example of a team that, as people figure out, like... If you know if it's offensive Porygon 2, you'll definitely change, like, how you play against it drastically. But the element of surprise is so good for this team. And as a result, people often will spend their first turn going for Fake Out or Taunt onto Porygon. And if Porygon can just pick up a knockout while you waste a turn basically going for something that doesn't accomplish anything, then you can basically use Porygon to target around. And it's a really big deal as well because I think often if you want to stop Porygon 2, you're going to need something that's a little bit more passive and doesn't put on very much offensive pressure, right? Something like a Taunt user, like Sableye or Whimsicott or a Fake Out user. But most of those Pokemon actually don't really do too much damage, which you can take advantage of. Okay, so Xurkitree comes out from my opponent, which I'm okay with. It's not really that much of a problem. I mean, I could just Fake Tears Max Strike it again. It's pretty tempting. Although my opponent maybe just protects the Xurkitree here. I don't really want to switch out, though. I have Spirit Break, actually. I'm down to Spirit Break the Sableye. Okay, yeah, Max Strike into Xurkitree here, and Spirit Break into the Sableye. Because I could see Xurkitree protecting in this position. Actually, switch out Sableye, okay. Into Dragapult, okay, that works for me. So we know there are 4 Pokemon. Oh. That's a little cheeky, okay. Hypnosis. That makes sense. But that's okay. I mean, we get a Spirit Break into Dragapult. That does so much damage. Like, that's in Sucker Punch KO range now, right? And if I wake up this next turn, I think my opponent's in a really bad spot. But I'm going to Hailstorm here rather than Strike. And I will Trick onto the... Probably Trick onto Xurkitree at this point. I feel like you probably Dynamax Xurkitree over Dragapult. And with the Dragapult, I can just Sucker Punch with the Urshifu. So let's get the full Incense onto Xurk. So Blind Hypnosis, I say blind. I know some people sometimes ask what I mean by that. It just means like not boosted by any, you know, item, for example. And so, yeah, I mean, that's a great tech. Last time we ran into Xurkitree, was it like a Life Orb set, I think? And it just like went full offensive. It just did a ton of damage across the board. Either way, though, we get the full Incense onto it, which is really critical. I guess actually full Incense probably didn't matter that much, right? We take away its Life Orb, more importantly, though. I guess, like, just even hampering its damage output is important here. The reason why I was thinking it actually maybe doesn't matter as much as I thought it did is just because I have the, Now Ego and the Urshifu in the back, and neither of those... both of those outspeed the Xurkitree already. Unless it gets a speed boost here, but it should be a special attack boost from Beast Boost. So let's see if we manage to wake up here. Okay, Porygon wakes up. Very nice. We get the Max Hailstorm off. I think Porygon waking up here should secure the game up for us, because now we can just click Blizzard with the Porygon and Meteor Beam into the Xurkitree. Actually, maybe I want to bring Urshifu out first, right? That's probably better. Taunt wears off. That doesn't really matter. Is Urshifu or Now Ego better here? I mean, I could go with both, but I think the problem with Now Ego is that I could miss the Meteor Beam. And that would actually be pretty scary. So I'm down to go with the Urshifu here. Because I can just click Blizzard and Wicked Blow now, I think. That might not knock out Xurkitree, I guess, is my one fear in this position. Because we saw Light Screen from Pult, right? So it probably goes for a Reflect this time around. But it should still do a ton of damage. So, yeah, I'm down to just Wicked Blow and Blizzard here. I think that's fine. And then with Now Ego in the back, Sableye typically doesn't do very much damage. Yeah, they just go for Reflect, but that's okay. Okay, so it was support Dragapult, which is pretty interesting. We were lucky to get a one-turn wake here, but when you're using Hypnosis, like, it's really, really risky because, yeah, I mean, like, even if you connect the Hypnosis, you just need a lot to go right, basically, if you're using Hypnosis. So it's kind of like a last-ditch effort, or like a Hail Mary play. And I think my opponent definitely was correct in going for it, because you imagine if I take, like, a 3-turn sleep in this game, it's completely different, right? Porygon was clutch enough to wake up. And by waking up on the last turn of Dynamax, that was actually really critical as well because it set up the Hail. I think that we had a pretty good position anyway because my opponent's main damage dealer was only going to be the Xurkitree, and with Sash, Urshifu, and tricking away the Xurkitree's item, I think we were always going to be in a pretty good spot. But Porygon was definitely the MVP of this game, just able to pick up so many knockouts across the board and dish out so much damage as well. And that's one thing I love about the Porygon as well, where it's like, even after your Dynamax is over, if you max Hailstorm, you set up the Hail, the Blizzards just do so much damage across the board, which is super, super fun. So, yeah, I think that was a great game for Porygon for sure, so I was pretty happy about that. Otherwise, I think that I was surprised to see Cinderace not Dynamax on turn 1, because I thought maxing there would have made a fair amount of sense, but I can also see why my opponent was maybe a little bit hesitant to do so in front of a Grimmsnarl. But like, if they Dynamax and went for Steel Spike turn 1, for example, that game definitely would have played out differently. So, yeah. Okay, this next team looks like a Perish Trap team, to be honest. Like, you can lead Lapras, Gothitelle, and just Perish Song immediately. Obviously, there's Raichu with Lightning Rod, which is going to be a pretty big issue for us. It's actually a really big issue. And then they also have the Registeel. That's a big problem as well, actually, because Registeel is probably one of the best counters to Porygon 2 in the format right now. Like, the first time I saw it was on Eric Rios' team, which we featured on this channel, which is really, really strong. And I think one of the strengths of the Registeel, and him, including, is because he realized how common Pokemon like Grimmsnarl and Porygon are. Registeel does really well into both of those. Okay, so we probably have to... I think we probably have to Dynamax Zapdos. Actually, ooh, we could Dynamax Now Ego in this game as well. Man. Yeah, I mean, the Raichu just makes this really difficult, I think. I'm down to lead Now Ego. I don't feel great about bringing Grimmsnarl into this one. But then, who do I not bring, I guess, is the question. I have to consider if my opponent just traps me, so Gothitelle plus something. Maybe it's just Now Ego Zapdos. That's just the most amount of offense I can put on right from the start. And I think I will bring Dracovish into this game. I don't know, Porygon just feels really, really bad because they have a Registeel, which can just Iron Defense, Body Press, so we don't want to Dynamax Porygon. They have a... they also have Raichu, so if they didn't have Raichu, I'd be like, okay, maybe I can bring Porygon, Dynamax it, Max Lightning a bunch, but because they have the Raichu as well, I'm a little bit less confident in it. So it's going to be Lapras and Raichu, okay. Wow, I haven't seen that in a while. I think, one of the original teams I created last year had that, but I guess this is not that bad for us. I mean, I guess it's not amazing either. It's a weird position to be in. If you're my opponent, you could just go Fake Out onto Now Ego and then, G-Max Resonance into the Zapdos. Or just Max Geyser as well. So if I want to expect the Fake Out onto Now Ego, I can actually Dynamax Now Ego and straight up go for a Max Rockfall. I actually kind of like that option. Because I think you Fake Out Now Ego here so frequently. Max Rockfall into this. And, no, okay. The Zapdos move here was not the best one, I think. I don't think it makes much sense to attack with Zapdos. I think we should either protect or switch out in this position. And if I were to switch out here, I think the correct option is to go Zapdos into Dracovish. Actually, yeah, this is... The Now Ego play I like, the Zapdos play I actually really don't like, because I think my opponent probably has Registeel in the back, and my actual, answer against Registeel is actually just going to be Zapdos with Life Orb Heat Wave. So it was a misplay not switching out Zapdos here, and I think it's actually going to cost me really heavily. Unless they went Geyser into Now Ego. I mean, there is a chance that is the case as well. But I think Resonance into Zapdos is always really safe because you get guaranteed damage onto that slot, and you cover for a switch in as well. So if my opponent made what I think would be their best play, then it punishes us really heavily. So if I were to replay this, I think I would have liked to protect Zapdos and either maybe... Oh my goodness. It's Eerie Impulse. Man, that tech is really everywhere now, I feel like. That's actually so bad. That was a great move. That was a really, really great move. Yeah, I've seen Eerie Impulse on so many different Pokemon recently, like Raichu, Regieleki, and Thundurus, and it's just a nice way to shut down all the special attackers that are running around in the format right now. So it's probably Resonance here. Yeah, that was a really good play, because it covers for the option of me just going for a Meteor Beam, right? It's not the end of the world, because I can bring an Urshifu right now, but yeah, really well played there. I guess I can go Dracovish first, actually. Good thing is that they're not weakness policy in the Lapras, so that helps a little bit at least. But Eerie Impulse was the one thing I probably really didn't want to see. Unfortunately, my opponent had it. I didn't even expect that as an option, to be honest, so I guess it's something I should be considering more, but I don't really have a super safe answer against it either, which is maybe what makes it a little scary. I'm down to go into Urshifu here. Because you're going to want to protect, right, in front of the Urshifu. I mean, I could just go into Dracovish as well. No, I think Urshifu's probably better. I also wasn't expecting Life Orb Lapras here, to be honest, because I thought maybe it's Life Orb with Perish Song. That would make some sense. I just thought there was Perish Song with the Gothitelle on the team. So I'm at -2. Close combat here. I don't even think KO's Lapras. I'd have to double up onto that slot, but they could easily protect the Lapras here. Or I guess actually just Nuzzle. What would I do if I'm my opponent? If I had Nuzzle, I'd probably just Nuzzle Geyser into Urshifu here. So I can Rockfall into Raichu. Yeah, that Eerie Impulse is just so tough to go up against, and it's so good against what I led here. I guess I could have approached this game with Dynamax Porygon too, but it just didn't look very good on paper. Okay, they Volt Switch into Urshifu. Alright, that's good. But it's probably Assault Vested, right? Well, I don't know, actually, that Heat Wave did a fair amount of damage. Does this KO? Nope. Yeah, and there's Max Geyser. I think that's the value of having Eerie Impulse, right? The fact that you can just pressure a Dynamax Mon and kind of shut it. It's like burning a physical Mon, right? As it Dynamaxes. It can just kind of instantly win you the game. Okay, they might Volt Switch again. Can definitely Rockfall here. I don't know if Volt Switch KOs. So I could just close combat here. I guess they could just Thunderbolt though, so maybe I should Sucker Punch. And I guess you probably don't switch out Raichu because you're willing to let your Raichu just faint. Oh my goodness, they have Charm as well? Wow. And what was I saying? Yeah, it's obviously not AV because it has Charm and Eerie Impulse, but... Dang. Dang. That is one interesting Raichu set, and it's really strong because, yeah, I can... The synergies, obviously, with Lapras are incredible here, right? That doesn't even KO. Oh my goodness. I guess I should have gone Wicked Blow there instead. Sick combination, though. Well played. Well played. So I should KO us. I'm pretty sure they don't even faint from the Life Orb here, which also feels kind of bad. So if I were to replay this, how would I have approached it? I don't know. Like, it was already kind of a tricky matchup to begin with because they had the Registeel. Okay, Lapras faints there at least, but this Raichu is such a problem. So I guess I probably need to go with Grimmsnarl. Because with Grimmsnarl, I can at least fake out the Raichu, or at least force Raichu to fake out whatever is coming in. I guess if we had Scarf Dracovish here, actually, okay, we can play like it's Scarf Dracovish, but protect. Yeah, it's actually not over yet, because they're pretty low on Raichu. We still have Meteor Beam, and Rain is up, so Dracovish with Rain up is actually pretty dang strong. And that's actually like a... Dracovish is kind of a cool like endgame Pokemon with this team. It's Clefairy. Okay. They bring out Clefairy. I mean, I think Charm onto Dracovish here is likely. I'm down to Substitute here. Or actually, maybe I should just Meteor Beam into Sludge Bomb next turn. I like Meteor Beaming into the Raichu here and protecting. Yeah. Because my opponent doesn't have offense right now, so this is actually totally winnable despite like the really disastrous start. Well, I guess Clef has Moonblast here. Yeah, they go for Follow Me. Okay, that was expected because they probably expect me to be Banded Fish, or sorry, Scarfish. They just go for Volt Switch. Okay. So we get Meteor Beam off. We're back to -1 special attack. What's their last one going to be? It's probably Registeel, right? Yeah, Registeel feels so likely here. That's probably a problem. I just can't KO the Registeel that easily. Especially with Friend Guard stuff here going on. Now they can just Charm Dracovish, so it's not very good. You should just Charm Dracovish here. Okay, I guess I'll just Vicious Rend and Sludge Bomb, but I think Registeel is going to be their last one, which makes this really hard to win. So it's really interesting. Like, you lead Raichu, you kind of just, you know, get the screens up. Yeah, there's Charm. I think Charm makes this a loss at this point, but yeah, we just don't have enough damage output at this point. That's so little. They still have screens up too, which is obviously part of the problem. It's frustrating though, because I actually could have gone for... Okay, that's still actually... Oh, we got a crit there. I was going to say, because we could have gone for a substitute last turn. And if I actually went for sub, they would have Volt Switched out, but we'd actually have Dracovish under a sub. Their last one's Incineroar. Wait, we can actually easily win this then. Like, I thought they had to have Registeel in the back. Wow. Okay. Well, with that, I think I just double protect. Yeah, I mean, they just don't really have damage at this point. In fact, do I even need a double protect? Maybe I can just attack with both Pokemon here, because Instinct can only fake out one Pokemon, so you either give me a Beast Boost. Yeah, I'm down to just Sludge Bomb Vicious Rend here. Okay, they go for Fake Out onto Dracovish, that's fine. And just Volt Switch, yeah. Wow, this does not play out how I expected it to. I actually think if my opponent had Registeel, this would have been a locked game for them in the back. I'm, like, shocked they didn't bring it, to be honest, because I don't have great Registeel answers to begin with, right? Like, my only real answer... That's why, like, me losing Zapdos the way I did in the beginning of the game was really bad. But that's the thing, right? Pokemon's a tough game because your opponents have to make the right decisions and who to bring as well. And so, if they don't, like, you can obviously capitalize off that. So I'm just going to Meteor Beam and Vicious Rend here. Yeah, they just end up forfeiting. I'm curious what their game plan here was, because I feel like, Incin plus Clef... Unless they had Parasol on Lapras, that's what I was thinking, which would make sense. So maybe their idea was let me pick up 2 quick KOs, set up Parasol, and then use Clef plus Instant to close out the game. Yeah. So that's, I guess, like maybe what their strategy was there. But yeah, did not play out how I expected it to. Honestly, I think that's a loss most of the time if the Registeel ends up coming out. But fortunately for us, it did not. This next team is fascinating. Wow. Galarian, Articuno, Azumarill, Sableye, Galarian Moltres, regular Kanto, Marowak, and Glastrier. Honestly, I think this is a great Dynamax Porygon game again. So let's go with that. Now Ego looks really good here. There's obviously potential Trick Room. I feel like Trick Room is actually really likely, right? Why else would you run Galarian Articuno on a team like this? Well, okay, sorry, that's not what I should say. Galarian Articuno is the only potential Trick Room user here. I don't see anything else I can Trick Room. Plus, they have so many slow Mons that it just feels like it has to be some kind of Trick Room stuff going on here, right? So now Ego as a lead here is pretty interesting because Meteor Beam is just so powerful. But Porygon 2 is also so powerful. And then in the back, I can probably just go with Urshifu and the Grimmsnarl. I guess that makes me a little bit weak to Azumarill. I don't like Dracovish here, though. Zapdos could be a decent bring, but why don't I want to bring Zapdos here? Well, 1, because of the Trick Room threat, 2, because of Glastrier. I think the combination of that makes me a little bit more hesitant to bring it, so, yeah. I mean, that last game, yeah, we take those. It definitely played out better than I expected it to, but I think if Registeel's in the back, we kind of just get swept by Registeel, so glad it was not in the back in the end. Okay, they go Sableye plus Moltres. Normally in this position, I would think you want to fake out into the Porygon. Sorry, now Ego. To which I could Max Strike. Or, hear me out, this is kind of a crazy idea, but maybe it could actually work. I Dynamax now Ego? No, I think that's probably too greedy here. Urshifu in the back, now Ego here. I could just Max Strike. And I like the idea of substituting here, because I could see my opponent going... Well, they don't Dynamax Moltres, okay. Now that's interesting. That's interesting. What's Sableye doing here? Fake Out. You could Trick. You could Taunt. Quash. I mean, it has a lot of options. Alright, just goes for Fake Out. I was thinking Protecting there. Maybe that would have been a better play. Nasty Plot then? That feels kind of greedy to me, but maybe it does end up working out for them. Because I guess the problem here is that they can just Quash now Ego this next turn. Max Strike's going to do a ton of damage here, though, so I'll take it. Like, this should do at least 50, right? Oh my gosh. That was almost a one-hit KO. The problem is that I just activated Berserk, right? And you probably have Quash on Sableye, so you can Quash into now Ego. But the question is, are you really going to Dynamax the Moltres right now? Because that seems kind of greedy. So it's at +3 special attack, but we did so much damage. If I'm my opponent, I'm probably just going to click Quash into Sableye and go for a Fiery Wrath. So, to counteract that, is there a reason to set up Electric Terrain? It's kind of valuable, but there's a small chance they switch out into Marowak with this. No, I don't think you actually ever switch out here. But I don't think I want the Hail yet, right? Because I don't want to break Urshifu's potential Sash. So, I'm down for Max Lightning here, actually, into Moltres and Protect. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep, they don't Dynamax. So, I mean, I think you have to Quash now Ego here. Oh, they actually went for Trick. Huh. Well, I guess, okay, yeah, what they were thinking is I just take away your power herb so you don't Meteor Beam. That makes some sense. Nice. Porygon doesn't take that much damage. We get a KO here, so that's good. Yeah, because, I mean, what I was thinking was I could just Sludge Bomb there, but it's okay. Like, I like protecting there because if they have Quash and they'd go for Fiery Wrath, that's not really ideal. Trick obviously makes this a little bit more tricky, no pun intended. But the upside is that Sableye kind of has the problem of not being able to actually do very much after the first couple of turns. And it doesn't put on very much offensive pressure at all either. So both of those are good things for us, right? They bring out Glastrier. Okay, if you're bringing Glastrier, I think I'm just going to Lightning into Sableye here. And I'm actually going to switch out Porygon into Grimmsnarl. Reason being is I want to conserve that Meteor Beam on the Now Ego. Maybe Max Lightning onto Glastrier here is actually a better play, but I don't mind knocking out Sableye because as long as Sableye is on the field, it can continue to threaten me with the Trick later on in the game, right? So, yeah. Okay, start to the game. I think once again, Dynamax Porygon 2 showing its value, almost one-shotting a regular Moltres. It was so close, like 90% of damage. But we'll take it. We'll definitely take it. You probably Dynamax Glastrier here. Yep. I could also go for a Fake Tears. A single Fake Tears onto Glastrier should put it in Meteor Beam KO range. The only question is whether it's Assault Vested. If not, then, you know, obviously can Protect. I can always trick the full Incense onto that, but I mean, Glastrier is already supposed to be going last in this matchup anyway, but the main reason to go for Trick is to take away its item. But if I take away an Assault Vest, it actually could work against us. Okay, they are going to commit the Trick onto Porygon, so nice play. Nice play. Oh, it's a checked button, actually. Cute. Get Max Lightning into Sableye. Pretty good damage there, around 60%. And they're going to go for Quake. Okay. Probably not to Now Ego. Oh, they actually eject Porygon out. I don't mind that. I mean, you give me a free switch in here, so that's not too bad. The cool thing about both Urshifu and Glastrier is neither of them actually... Sorry, Urshifu and Grimmsnarl is that they're both Dark types. So, probably just bring out the Urshifu here. And the upside of being Dark types with both Pokemon is that you... Actually, I don't know. I mean, Now Ego's not bad because I can substitute, but if they Trick, which they really should, that's bad news for us, right? Yeah, I guess I'll go into the Urshifu here. I could actually switch Urshifu back out into Porygon as well. That's an option. Our goal should be to knock out the Sableye in this position. I don't know, I mean, like, we could blow into Sableye, and Fake Tears here is pretty safe, I actually think. Their last one, I don't think anything in the back is actually that much of a threat to us. So yeah, like, we could blow to KO the Sableye here, and Fake Tears onto Glastrier. And then I can save the full Incense for the last Pokemon if the Grimmsnarl hangs on this turn. Oh, they actually switched Sableye out, okay. Azumarill would be a problem here? Oh... That actually may cause some issues for us. That may cause some issues for us. Let's see. We get the Wicked Blow off. I mean, they should still do, what, like 30, 35% is my guess? Yep, around there. I'm going to go for Steel Spike. Okay, that probably KOs us, but it gives me... Oh, they actually target Urshifu. Okay. I'll take that. That's good. That's good. I think we just use Now Ego to carry us in this endgame now. I don't know what to expect from the Azumarill, though. That's also the other part of the question I have. But if I go for another Fake Tears onto Glastrier, it also revealed Quake and Steel Spike, which makes me think it's Assault Vested. So I can just go for another Fake Tears onto Glastrier right now. And I'm willing to switch this out into Porygon. Am I actually? T-Bolt in Electric Terrain is pretty strong right now, so maybe we just stay in. Close Combat Glastrier and Fake Tears it? That doesn't feel like the best play. I feel like I had a better play than what I went for this turn, but it was kind of tricky. Because I actually like having Porygon in this endgame for T-Bolt in Electric Terrain against Azumarill specifically. Maybe Wicked Blow into Glastrier there's better. Are you Policy? I also want to see the item, I guess. That's the other thing. It's not Policy. I'm pretty sure that's Assault Vested then. They're just going to play rough. So it's offensive Azumarill, looks like. That may be a problem. Life Orb? No. You go for another Max Quake. Okay. Yeah, maybe Azumarill can just clean up this game for my opponent. I haven't seen like offensive Azumarill used since like the beginning of Series 5, so it's been a while. Which is a really cool set. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I definitely had a better play there, but I don't know what it was. Maybe I'd switch out Grimmsnarl. Like, I'm fairly confident you are... Actually, I know what the play was. The play was actually to Fake Tears Azumarill there, because then I'm pretty sure Thunderbolt and Electric Terrain KOs. Let's see, what download boost do we get here? Maybe Thunderbolt KOs here anyway, actually. T-Bolt and Electric Terrain? T-Bolt, Electric Terrain boosted. Oh, Azumarill might just outspeed me, though. That's the problem, isn't it? Because I want to just T-Bolt into Azumarill and Meteor Beam here, but they probably have Waterfall as well and can just KO the... They switch Glastrier out. Okay, I mean, that's fine with me. Good play, though. We should knock out Sableye. I could have doubled up onto Azumarill. That may have been the play, actually. Because if I double up there... I think, this Porygon's min speed, actually, yeah, so I think, well, actually, maybe I didn't have it out here. Oh, I could have protected the, Now Ego. That may have been the move. The Azumarill switching was really good, and, yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't really, like, have much of an expectation going into this. Unless, like, they don't one-shot Now Ego here, but I'm pretty sure you just Waterfall. Oh, we are faster, though. Okay, does this KO? Oh. Well, it was a really close game. It was a really close game. If we KO there, we win, right? Because then I just Sludge Bomb Tri-Attack, and Glastrier can't knock out everything, and it's at 60%. But that's why I should have gone Fake Tears onto Azumarill instead, so I made some misplays, and it cost me here in the end. And yeah, I mean, that's probably a roll, but oh, it has like 5 HP. That's so sad. Alright. Don't really think we have any outs at this point. Cool team, though. Cool team. Yeah, I thought T-Bolt would be enough to KO the Azumarill there. Looks like they were min speed in the end. They have... What's the item on that? It's not Citrus, not Life Orb. I actually think the Protector is really greedy, because if I went Tri-Attack Paralysis onto Glastrier, which I guess was actually my win con, because I can't freeze it, we had a small chance there. But those were some chances. The main misplay here was not going for Fake Tears onto the Azumarill. I just wanted another one onto the Glastrier because I thought it'd be Assault Vested, but it was already at -1 SPDF at that point. So even after a Max Quake, you're at neutral, which means Meteor Beam should KO after I close combated. So that one small play definitely was the game changer here in the end, right? So that's on me. Cool team, definitely, for sure. We had a decent start. My opponent made that nice, like, they didn't go for the trick onto... or when I switched the Now Ego out. Yeah. It's frustrating because I could have probably just stayed in with Now Ego. I didn't know the item on Glastrier. I'm pretty sure it was Assault Vested. And Porygon not picking up the knockout onto Moltres was unfortunate, but it's not like we were really expecting a KO there. The main thing was the, yeah, I mean, Azumarill hanging out with like 3 HP. But like I said, I could have gone for anything else, like a Fake Tears on that slot, to make it so that I had a guaranteed KO with Thunderbolt. Fun game, though, and a really cool team. Alright, so last game of the day. Let's see what we got here. Landorus Eye. Do we, was this the Landorus Eye team we featured? I honestly don't remember very well. Okay, either way, Glastrier is a really big problem for us here. Now Ego. Kind of what I was trying to do in the loss we had yesterday, which was potentially Dynamax Now Ego, I think might work for us here. There's no Amoonguss this time around, which is good. That was the main problem for us yesterday. So I think the 4 we play towards is Now Ego, P2, Grimmsnarl, Urshifu, with Now Ego and Porygon being the potential Dynamax options here. I'm scared of Regieleki. I mean, I'm down to just lead Grimmsnarl, Porygon. Actually, no, I like Grimmsnarl Now Ego here, I think, with Porygon and Urshifu in the back. Because the idea behind that is that Now Ego can potentially just substitute on turn 1. And if I get a sub up, even if Trick Room goes up, it's actually not that much of an issue, especially because I have full Incense as well. My problem with Porygon, well, I guess Porygon's always a pretty consistent Dynamax option for me here, so maybe we could have just gone with that, actually. Okay, they go with Incineroar Porygon, so that's pretty good for Now Ego, I would say, because this is definitely a free Fake Out onto Porygon turn 1. Man, I could actually Dynamax now you go right away, but I don't think I want to do that because I want the Meteor Beam ideally. I want that special attack boost. Yeah, because I think Instant probably goes Parting Shot next turn into now Ego, so which I could substitute. So I'm thinking Fake Out here, sub turn 1. Yeah. I mean, I think Incineroar here should Fake Out into now Ego, which is why I was tempted to... If I Dynamax now, I don't think Fake Tears plus Max Rock Fog actually KOs Porygon too, so yeah, I don't think that really works as a play. If it did, that'd be really cool. Maybe they don't Fake Out onto the Now Ego and they Fake Out Incineroar to try to get Grimmsnarl to try to get Trick Room up. That would also make sense, but yeah, it goes into Now Ego. That was kind of expected, but that's fine. I suppose I actually could have switched Now Ego out in that position, go out into... Oh, actually, yeah, I like that play a little bit more. If I switch out into Urshifu there, I can just trick away Porygon and close combat Porygon for a KO. That may have been the better play there. Okay, I like the idea of substituting here on Now Ego and Spirit Break. This is where sub I think is really handy because they basically want to position Glastrier to come out. Oh, they actually just hard switch into Fini. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So this is like the same match as yesterday, just with Fini over Amoonguss, right? So I probably want to switch Grimmsnarl out now. Yeah, oh, I really would have liked to switch out into Urshifu last turn. I think that was definitely the better play. But I guess if my opponent clicks Fake Out into the Grimmsnarl slime, then sets up Trick Room, we're actually in a really bad spot. So even though the Fake Out onto Now Ego is seemingly obvious, like, it could have gone wrong really, really quickly, right? Okay, I'm down to... Do I switch out here? Because I could just Fake Tear Sludge Bomb into Fini. Which is actually kind of interesting here. I'm not totally opposed to that. My opponent's last one has to be Glastrier, right? And they switch Porygon out, so if Moonblast doesn't one-shot us here, yeah, there's Glastrier. Like, this actually could be pretty decent. That was also kind of a risky switch on their end, but... We should KO the Tapu Fini here. The only thing is, can Grimmsnarl actually get a trick off? Are they going to go for Moonblast? No, they Calm Mind. Okay, great. Great, great, great. This is where Full Instance Grimmsnarl, I think, really shines, because now I can trick onto Glastrier next turn. More importantly, I still have my substitute up here on the Now Ego. Let's see if this one-shots. Oh, actually, I guess I don't want it to one-shot. Yeah, the problem in one-hit KOing there is now you can get Incineroar in. Oh, and it's a crit. Okay. Not sure that matters. I think it probably does. And I actually... Yeah, because if Fini stays in here, if you're AV Glastrier, you can't protect in front of my full instance trick stuff. I mean, that being said, we're still not in a bad spot. Oh, they just bring in Porygon, though. Okay, that's good for us. Because, yeah, I'm definitely just going to go trick onto Glastrier now. And I actually think we maybe Dynamax Porygon in this endgame. It depends. It depends on the next two turns to play out. But the one thing to consider is that if you Dynamax, you lose your substitute. So I like trick onto Glastrier this turn and Meteor Beam. And if I successfully get the trick off, then I Dynamax Now Ego next turn to just Max Rockfall KO Glastrier, and then Now Ego sweeps this game. So... This is kind of what I was going for in that loss that we had yesterday, but I wasn't able to knock out Amoonguss, which was a really big problem, because it put everything to sleep. And my opponent in yesterday's match had 3 of the same 4 Pokemon just with Amoonguss instead. So, also what I learned was that the rental team we went up against yesterday, unless it was adapted, the original team actually has Akaberry rather than Focus Sash. It was just so that a couple of people that I'd seen had been playing with an updated version of that team with Sash. So yesterday, like, I could have gone Fake Tear's Meteor Beam onto Amoonguss, and that actually would have put us in a really, really good spot if it was the Akaberry variant as opposed to the Focus Sash variant. So I don't know which one it was, but yeah. Okay, Glastrier maxes, which is a good sign because this should mean we get the full instance off. Okay, great. That's really good. So AV is what I'm expecting. Yep. Yeah, I feel like AV is just so common with Now Ego, sorry, with Porygon stuff right now. I think we win the game off this now, because I know now your Glastrier does not have Protect. I get a Meteor Beam off into you, and now next turn I can just Dynamax Now Ego under Trick Room. You have the full instance on you, so you go last. And, oh wow, they didn't even break the sub. That's interesting. I guess we need a hit Meteor Beam here. If we hit, I think it should be a guaranteed win, because we just go Fake Tears Max Rockfall into Glastrier next turn. That should be a KO. And so, yeah. This is why Full Instance Grimmsnarl is so cool. Like, it can turn... the fact that it helps you win against both Tailwind and Trick Room, I think, is so smart. And so, That's definitely one of my favorite sets from this year in general. I think it's just so brilliant. And wow, actually Glastrier just takes so much damage there to the point where maybe I don't even need a Dynamax Now You Go. Well, Dynamaxing Now You Go is a guaranteed win, right? No, because they could have Ally Switch on Porygon, actually. Yeah, actually, because of the Ally Switch option, while it's slim, I think I actually have to... Oh, wait, I can't even Fake Tears. What am I saying? Right, so I just Sludge Bomb here. Because if I Dynamax, I Rock Fall, and they Ally Switch, that's actually pretty bad. And I can just Dynamax my Porygon in this endgame. So I'm down to just Spirit Break into their Porygon and go for a Sludge Bomb onto Glastrier. Okay, they just went with Tri Attack. That's fine. Let's see. What moves have we seen so far? Just Tri Attack. Like, it probably doesn't have Ally Switch, but I think that's just such a, like, it's something, like, you always have to ask yourself, like, what could make me insta-lose the game? And if I Dynamax here and they Ally Switch and I just, like, my Dynamaxmon gets one-shot, it's actually really bad for us. I probably should have gone Spirit Break into Glastrier instead, actually. So that was kind of a bad play. Because I think we'd probably KO the Glastrier there, but it's okay. Regardless, like, I can just double split my attacks this next turn, and Glastrier should definitely faint. So we should be good here. But basically, because we're so far ahead in this game, I just have to make sure I don't throw it away, right? And the one way to throw it away there potentially is if I actually, yeah, if Ally Switch actually was on Porygon. And while I think it's unlikely, it's still something you have to respect. So I'm going to just Spirit Break into Porygon here, Sludge Bomb into Glastrier. We still have our Dynamax. Trick Room's about to expire. And I have Porygon 2 in the back, which is pretty good. As well as Urshifu, which is actually very good. In fact, we can probably just Dynamax Urshifu in the end game, but we'll see. So, had I Dynamax Now You Go last turn, it probably would have just been like an insta-win right there if they don't have Ally Switch, but if they have Ally Switch, it's actually a way to potentially just throw away the game, so I just wanted to respect that option. I don't think they have it at this point, but I am still going to show respect to it for this turn at least. And with full instance, I'm pretty sure we should just knock out the Glastrier. They just go Recover, but that's fine. Porygon can heal all it wants, but it's not really going to do much damage to Now You Go. Plus, we're getting special attack drops onto it, so it's really not going to do any damage in this late game. And I'm assuming Sludge Bomb still KOs the Glastrier here. Let's see. It's at like 5%. It's got to, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we can Dynamax Now You Go, because now I'm not, like Incineroar plus Porygon are not Pokemon that threaten Now You Go with a lot of damage output. So you can Dynamax that and just click Rock Fall into Incineroar. That's a guaranteed KO. Trick away the Eviolite from the Porygon, and then Now You Go should close out the game. Oh, I keep saying Trick. I can't Trick because of AV. That's like the one awkward thing with running Trick sets, where if your opponent manages to, you know, take away the item, or sorry, if the item you're taking away is Assault Vest, things get a little weird. But it's okay, because typically, like, the trade-off is worth it most of the time. So I'm down to just switch this out, go out and Tower Porygon, Dynamax this thing, Rockfall. The main approach I had in this game was to, you know, try to Dynamax Now You Go, and then I ideally trick Full Incense onto Glastrier, or waste enough turns of Trick Room where Glastrier is not super relevant, / it's not that much of a threat. So that ended up working out pretty well for us, right? I think the big turn was my opponent just going for the Calm Mind on Tapu Fini, and us just getting the KO with Fake Tear Sludge Bomb. Maybe that crit mattered, and that crit definitely could have changed things dramatically. So that was an unfortunate turn. I think had my opponent brought in Incineroar over Porygon 2, though, things also would have been trickier, but instead, because they brought out Porygon 2, I knew I had a guaranteed trick. I guess they could have, like, yeah, if you have Ally Switch, you probably go for the Ally Switch there at that point in the match. Yeah, so there's Fake Out onto Now Ego. Nice. Yeah, Max Rock Fall off. So, yeah, I mean, in the end, I think, like, Dynamax Porygon was really good in the games we brought it out in. I think, like, that last match I misplayed a little bit on that one turn. I didn't go Fake Tears onto Azumarill. It's probably AV on Glastrier in that last match as well. So if I went Fake Tears into Azumarill, we probably just Meteor Beam Thunderbolt, and I think that puts us in a really good position. I also just didn't know what to expect from the Azumarill set, which was maybe a mistake on my end. They try attacking a Now You Go, I respect that, go for a freeze maybe, but they just don't have any damage. Like, the thing with my opponent's team is as soon as Glastrier goes down, you're really lacking in damage output. Porygon can do some decent damage, but it's not significant enough to the point where it can actually pick up KOs. So just Giga Impact and Rockfall. I guess one cool thing with this team is you could also Ooze with Now You Go, give yourself special attack boosts. Ooze Tri Attack was probably safer here, but it doesn't really matter. Plus, I just like seeing Porygon go for Giga Impact, but I suppose we could miss. Okay, they actually go for Recover. But obviously there's nothing my opponent can do in this point in the match. So I'm curious actually how much we should do into Tapu Fini. The sun is in my way, so I apologize for that. Let's see. Now you go. This is directly on me. All right, this is better. Now you go into Tapu Fini. Let's see. If you have, I'm at +1 special attack. Or sorry, not +1. They're at -1. We don't have an item. Sludge Bomb can still get a one-hit KO. It really depends on their spread. Like, if you're modest max HP, it's actually a guaranteed KO. So you would need a lot of special defense investment actually to survive that. So maybe that crit didn't matter. I don't know what the spread is on their Tapu Fini there. So, yeah. But definitely a fun set of games. I mean, this team is really, really fun. I like it a lot. I think if you want to use it, you should use it now in this next week before people start seeing it more often, because as soon as people realize what the Porygon 2 set is, they play completely differently. And what gives you such a big advantage with this team often is that turn 1 with Porygon where your opponent goes like fake out or taunt into it. So, yeah. That's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much as always for watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to check out the creator, and I'll see you all next time. All right. Peace.